Have you ever seen a DIY soldering iron that actually starts with a wrench? It sounds a little hard to believe, right? In everyday life, we're used to seeing it used for something completely different. But the fun part is, it's entirely possible to turn it into something new. Today I'm going to walk you through how it all comes together step by step. So go ahead, get your tools ready, and let's dive in. Here I've got a bolt and a matching nut. We'll use them to form the soldering tip assembly, securing it to the rounded end of the wrench handle while also connecting it to the custom-made tip. But it would be pretty unreasonable to just fix this tiny bolt straight onto the rounded end of the wrench, right? It doesn't line up at all. That's exactly why we need a little trick here. Here I've prepared 4 washers in 2 different sizes. Their job is to spread the pressure evenly, fill the gap, and create a more stable contact surface. That way, the small bolt can sit firmly against the rounded end of the wrench, staying aligned and securely in place. Next, I've got a short piece of wire. One end will be connected to the rounded end of the wrench, and we'll take care of the other end later so it can hook up to the positive terminal. To protect the electrical connection and keep everything working reliably, I'll run the wire neatly along the wrench handle and secure it with electrical tape. This helps prevent the connection from loosening due to movement, reduces the risk of short circuits, and keeps the wire out of the way so it doesn't interfere while you're soldering. With the remaining end of this wire, I'll attach an alligator clip so it's easier to connect to the power source when needed. Here in my hand, I've got a conductive bar with 2 set screws. We'll use it as an intermediate connector to link the threaded end of the bolt to the custom-made soldering tip, keeping everything aligned and firmly in place. In this basket full of old batteries, AA, AAA, and a few other sizes, I'll pick one that fits and take out the carbon rod inside to turn it into a DIY drill bit. The reason this works comes down to the material itself. Carbon rods can handle high temperatures without deforming, they're hard enough to keep a defined shape when you grind them, and they don't soften or smear the way many metals might under heat. On top of that, they wear down gradually rather than suddenly, which gives you better control while working. Put all that together, and it becomes a surprisingly practical option for shaping a simple makeshift drill bit. And I'm not stopping there. I'm putting together one more piece to connect to the negative terminal of the power source. For this extra piece, I'm making a short wire with an alligator clip on each end. One end will connect to the negative terminal of the power source, while the other will clamp onto the workpiece, creating a stable and convenient electrical connection for the soldering process. This is a small battery, just the right fit to supply power for this project without running into any issues. To see whether this project actually works, we just need a quick check. If, in a simple test, it can solder two small metal pieces together firmly without damaging them, then we can call it a success. So, starting with just a wrench and a handful of simple parts, we've managed to turn an ordinary tool into something entirely different. It may not look fancy, but what matters is that it works, and it proves a point. With a bit of patience and a few clever ideas, even the most familiar objects can take on a whole new role. And who knows, the next time you look at a simple tool, you might see not just what it is, but what it could become.